Bienvenidos a este nuevo vídeo de Devir TV. Estamos aquí en el stand de Devir en Essen y tengo a mi lado al ganador del Kennerspiel de Jahres de este año, Wolfgang Warsch. Wolfgang Warsch. How can I say it?
If you want to spell it like a German one, you have to say like Wolfgang Warsch.
Wolfgang Warsch.
But we can try Wolfgang Warsch. That's
Okay.
what most of the people are saying. Just
Thanks for coming.
Wolfie, that's fine.
Wolfie
Wolfie
Warsch.
is fine.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me here.
And congratulations for the Kennerspiel de Jahres.
Thanks a lot. I'm still like on level 7, something like that. I still cannot believe that I won this prize, this prestigious prize with this game. And it still feels weird seeing all the people running around with this game. It's the first time for me not being on a convention where I see my own game being played on the tables, on a lot of tables, and it feels absolutely great, but still kind of weird to me. But yeah, it's exciting, it's fun.
When the Spiel des Jahres nominations were done, you were in a lot of places. It was like, wow, it's amazing. How you felt with that?
Kind of strange. I really couldn't believe it, especially when nominations were announced. I was really hoping to get at least one nomination. Mm-hmm. The thing is, before Nuremberg, before all the 4 games were coming out, I didn't expect anything. It was like, yeah, I was looking forward that 4 of my games are going to be published, but I had no high expectations on this game. But suddenly the critics came in, the reviews came in, the tests came in, and you read the reviews of the Spiel des Jahres jury members, and suddenly they were saying, oh, it's a good game, and that's a good game, and that's a good game. So it was like my hopings were growing. I said maybe one game could be nominated. This would be just amazing. But it's really hard because they have so many great games in 1 year, and that exactly your game is going to be nominated. It's still very tough. But at the end, as then there were 3 games that were nominated, it was so crazy. I was just hugging my wife that was next to me. It was a very emotional moment for me, as you can imagine, because before I only had 2 games published, 2 small games. And for me, it was always like, when you make this as a hobby, you have always a dream, maybe one day you have a chance to be like on Spiel des Jahres, announcement or whatever, and suddenly having like 3 nominations, it was crazy. It was really wonderful.
Congratulations.
And it's still a wonderful feeling.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, because as you said, you haven't so many games published when you were nominated. How began your life as an author of games?
It began quite late. It was like, I was like 18, 19 years old. So when I had like the feeling, I want to make a board game. This was because I bought a billiard table to play.
Yeah.
And I bought one together with my friend, an old one, and we wanted to restore it and make it new. And just one day I had the feeling I want to make a board, out of the billiard table, I want to make a board game, like billiard, the board game. And I just had the idea to make this. So I was never really like too much into board games. I always liked playing board games, like Settlers of Catan I played every now and then, but mainly chess or card games and nothing too much special. But I just had the feeling it could be fun to make a board game. And I tried to make this game, but wasn't really successful. I haven't found a company. And then 5 years later, I tried it again when I was like 25, and also not very successful. And then again was a gap of 7 years, and then I had the feeling, I want to try it again and try to make a board game. And I focused on the category I knew the best. It was party games. And I developed a party game that has then been published by the German company Zoch. Mm-hmm. And this was a huge motivation push, as you can imagine. Suddenly, really seeing one of your games published, it's just amazing.
Amazing.
And nevertheless, I was working on new games every now and then. Another game was published by Piatnik, like one year later or so. But then I went together with my wife to England to work there for 3.5 years. And then Cambridge, we met a lot of new friends, and they were all really much into modern board games, playing board games. And we met like once every weekend and played a lot of board games. And this was the phase where I learned a lot of the new modern board games, of what mechanisms are around, what is worker placement, what is roll and write, what is deck building. And I played like 60, 70, 80 games within like 1 year or so. And this helped me a lot to develop certain skills that are probably needed if you want to make good games. Mm-hmm. I think you probably don't have to play like 3,000 games, but you should have like a certain basic library of what's possible, so you can work with this. And after we came back from England, I started again to go more into this hobby, and yeah, suddenly it flew. I had like the idea for the 4 games within a few months, and they were finished within like 6 months, all 4 games together. And yeah, that's basically it.
And one of them was this one, Quacksalber von Quedlinburg?
Yes.
Quedlinburg, sorry.
The Quacksalber von Quedlinburg.
It's like a long and difficult game as proposed or not?
Yes, it is. Absolutely, I would say. It wasn't my idea, it was the idea of the editor of Schmidt-Spieler.
Yeah.
But it sounds funny. I like the idea of having like this QQ, and it's quite unique and quite. I think like that you talk about the name a lot of this game.
Yeah.
And this is already like something
cool.
something has been done right if you talk about just about the name of the game.
Yeah.
So this was one of the games that was published this year in Nuremberg, in Toy Fair Nuremberg, together with The Mind and Ganz schön Clever and Illusion. These were the 4 games that were published. And 3 of them are nominated for Spiel des Jahres. One of them was Quacksalber von Quedlinburg that then won the Kennerspiel des Jahres.
Yeah, but all are very different between them.
Kinda, yeah. They're kind of different, but they are. I always try to find a unique mechanism. So normally I don't go from like finding a theme and then build a game around the theme. Normally I try to find a unique mechanism. And I don't think if I want to make a card game or a board game or push your luck, it's more like I have the mechanism and then I try to figure out how much do I have to build around the mechanism so that the game, how can I say it, the game just works as it is. With a few games like The Mind, you just have the mechanism and that's it. You don't need a lot of more. With the Quacksalber, I had the idea for the push your luck backbuilding mechanism, but this wasn't enough. I just needed more and I need to grow it a bit until I finally had the game that would say, okay, now it's working. So I never have the idea say I want to make like a bigger game like the Quacksalber. It's more like I just needed more to put on the game until I finally had the feeling now it's done.
And the back builder mechanism is something new. You think that can be used in other games?
Oh, it's hard to say. I don't really know. I mean, for me, it was really very new because I don't play a lot of games and I've never played a back builder before. Afterwards, I heard there's Orléans. This is also back builder, and it's another one. Cannot think another one right now. But it's more cool. Like I more had like I like Dominion. I played Dominion, and I liked in Dominion when you get like a lot of high value coins. So you get like the 1 value coin and 2 and 3, and suddenly you have so many coins, and you say, oh, I can go now for a big shopping and can buy this cool card and this cool card. And I wanted to build a game just on this feeling I can now buy like a really cool new stuff. But I wanted to go away from the cards and say, no, I want to just focus on coins. And I really want to make a game just with coins. And how do you shuffle coins? It doesn't work. You need a bag to shuffle them. And that's the only reason why I made a bag builder, to shuffle the coins. And I said, okay, just pull out the coins. But you cannot pull out the coins till infinitely. So I said, okay, you have to stop on some point. How do you stop them? Make push your luck. You have just to put in some stop signal, and that's simply how the whole thing just started within a few minutes, and then that's basically it.
Great.
But yeah.
And what about the idea of that we are like wizards or something like this that are creating a potion? How it came?
It initially started with complete another theme. So I really had coins in my mind, so really money. And I somehow, don't ask me how, I somehow had the idea for a Western theme. So the original name was Most Wanted. And you tried to become the most badass of bandits. You started robberies on posts, how do you call it, post wagons, trains, bank, and so on. And you rob them, get more coins, and with the more coins you get more coins, and so on and so on. And I showed it with the theme to the editor of Schmidt-Spieler. And he liked the game, he liked the mechanism, everything was already there. But at some point he said, okay, he's not really happy with the theme because in general, Western themes don't sell that well in the family level, especially in Germany. Maybe in the States it's a bit different. And he wanted to go away from the theme, and also had the feeling that like pulling coins out of the bag, it doesn't really make thematically a lot of sense. And he had the idea to like put it more in this like potion brewing. He had the feeling, oh, you could put out like ingredients for a potion and put it in somewhere. I was happy with that, and I already had the theme of like this Wonder Doctor, the Quacks, for one of my other prototypes that I've never showed to another company so far, but I liked it. I said, okay, let's do like, we are Quacksalvers, we are Wonder Doctors, and so it all came together. And at the end, he had the idea from the Quacksalver from Quentin programs. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
It changed it a bit, but
It changed a bit, yeah. But for me, the most important thing is it's a mechanism. I never stick to the theme. I always start with a mechanism, but try to find the theme quite early in the game, because on some point the theme again gives you a certain push or ideas. What could you do to maybe solve certain problems, put in more emotions into the game? But normally I start with the mechanism, but so therefore I don't stick too much with the theme.
great. And the game as well has a lot of replayability. I think you have focused very much on this because you have all those books that make the tokens make different effects.
Yeah.
So how was that process of?
Oh, the idea for this was, I think immediately when I had the idea that I said, basically this was like the whole game was developed within like half an hour in the bathtub, lying around taking a bath, very chilled. And I mentioned this Dominion stuff, I want to pull out the coins, and very quickly had the idea, okay, coins just giving you money is not enough, they need to give you certain actions. And then I said, okay, if you have to give you certain actions, you have to differentiate them by giving different colors. So this was there within like a few minutes. And they said, okay, each color gives you a certain action. Okay, you cannot write the colors on the coins, it's too small, so you need some books or whatever you have to place on the table, reference charts or whatever. And then was quickly the idea said, okay, Dominion already does this, like just pull out certain decks of cards, you can do that the same. And if you only have like 7, 8 different colors, I thought, oh, it would be easy to find different actions for like way more for this. If you have like enough rules in the game, you can play around with so many different rule breakers, different actions. So the idea was immediately born that if it works, for sure you have to make like different actions for this.
Okay, great. Well, Wolfgang, it's an amazing game. We can't wait to play it in Spanish. So what's the feedback of the people for the moment?
The feedback is very positive. It's a very emotional game. So the nice thing is that the rules are on a level that you say it's a bit above like family playing level. But once you played one round, I think it's not complicated at all.
No.
So I think even if a smart 8, 9, 10-year-old kids can play the game, you have to be aware that a lot of luck is involved in the game. So even if you say, okay, I love to play heavy Euro strategy games with not a lot of luck involved because I want to win the game because I've been like the smartest on the table, you probably are not going to be that happy with the game. You still can be happy with the game. So you have to be aware that there's a lot of luck involved. You can be lucky, you can be unlucky. But if you are happy with that, and people are aware of that and happy with that, the feedback of the game is very positive, and I'm very happy with the feedback so far.
Okay, super fun game.
Thanks a lot.
Wolfgang, thank you very much for the game, for this interview.
No problem at all.
We hope you have more prizes in the future and more great games.
Let's see. I'm happy so far, so it's okay.
Thank you very much, Wolfgang.
No problem.
Pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.